Today I'm going to speak to you about video games, and specifically violent video games, and why I believe they are harmless to those who play them. I'll be presenting three main points to support my opinion and a counter-opinion against the position I've taken on the issue. Violent video games are just scapegoats for violent acts performed by children and examples for censorship of the media. I have three more points to back up my opinion, and they are that there is very little research suggesting that video games cause violence. The media has given video games a bad reputation, and that politicians use video game violence to push for legislation. My first point is that there is very little research that video games cause violence. Video Games, the latest scapegoat for violence by Christopher Ferguson, is an article defending video games. The article is from a researcher's perspective who studies video game violence, and his experiments have concluded that only very few cases have video games been known to cause aggressive actions. Ferguson states that the threshold for what is considered evidence on violence causing video games is remarkably low. My second point is that the media has given video games a bad reputation. Many school shootings in the past have been blamed on violent video games. And Ferguson writes in his articles about how society has shied away from holding people responsible for their own behaviors and instead blamed it on abstract entities. People say that the kids who play these video games are having their minds warped, blurring the lines between good and bad decisions. These school shooting tragedies can't be blamed on one thing, because that would rule out all possible causes like bullying, family troubles, and psychological problems. Other acts of violence like stealing and assault committed by children have also been wrongfully blamed on violent video games. My third and final point is that politicians use video game violence to push for legislation. Ferguson asserts that lawmakers are trying to use the accusations on violent video games to show that change is necessary. Politicians are using the example of violent causing video games to make a point for censorship of said video games and other media. They plan to take away the ability of the parents to choose for their child whether or not they can play the video game. This is a choice that parents should always have, and no law has the right to make the decision for them. Along with the argument I proposed, another counter-argument can be made based off of the few cases in which video games could be the primary aggressive behavior. Research suggested in the article entitled "Violent Video Games May Increase Aggression in Some but Not Others" says just what the title of the article says. Violent video games can cause aggression in some kids, but not others. The article goes on to explain the type of kids violent video games can cause aggression in. Those kids would be ones who are more hostile, less agreeable, and less conscientious. I may not have persuaded you to believe in my opinion, but hopefully I have enlightened you to this very controversial subject. Thank you.